Afternoon. How's life? I have been pulling some cards today. And the thing about it was, I wasn't even going to do it. I had no intention of doing a live. So here I am. Haven't done one for ages. Thought I would just pop on. I was doing these cards, and as I sat with them for myself, I thought, you know what? These probably have a little bit of a message that someone needs to hear. Um, I've been in quite contemplative mode since I came back from holiday. There's lots of things sort of dropping in, lots of inspiration coming from different places. So let me just give me a 1 wee second. I'm just going to make sure that I'm definitely live before I start waxing lyrical about these cards, because Facebook has done me a dirty a few times where it's told me I'm live, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, thanks, yeah. Just need to make sure that I am. So I'm just going to double check on my device here that I am actually live. There we go. I am. Good job. Good job. It's always nice. I don't always get to see the comments, so I'm going to pop them up on my phone here just in case any of you do join me live. We'll have a little look see and see what's going on. So let me just get that up and running. Let's Anywho, so how is life treating you? Let me know how you are. If you're catching this live, give me a wee hello. Let me know that you're here, and if you are watching the replay whenever your Friday chills out and you've got some time and you're like, oh, what's she talking about today? Leave me a wee hashtag replay. Let me know that you caught up and let me know your thoughts. I've pulled some cards. They're interesting, but as I was saying, I've obviously been in deep creation mode lately because I've been writing the book. The book is currently now with a handful of advanced readers who are reading it. It's not at all terrifying. They're reading it, they're giving it their honest opinion, their feedback, and it's been really exciting, nerve-wracking, all of the above to get that. And it's nearly finished. I was writing some acknowledgements this morning. I was putting together some of the resources that are going to come with the book in a companion site. So really excited about that. For those of you who were commenting on my video earlier in the week, on my stories and stuff, as you can see, I've gone back to pink. Um, Simply for now, we're gonna leave it pink probably for the rest of this year, and then we're gonna switch it up. So it's just to give my hair time to get rid of all the old coppers and blondes and darkness that used to be in it. So let's see where we go. It's good fun. Let me know what the crack is if you're um if you if you're on the waiting list of the book. Let me know. Have you seen the little sneak preview? So when you join the waitlist of the book, you get a little sneak preview of the first couple of pages. I've just, for those who've been on the waiting list for a while, I've been dropping in the odd email here and there, just letting them know what's happening. And I was just this morning, I was putting together resources for the book readers and also then resources for the people on the waiting list. So make sure you're on the waiting list for the book. It's going to come out next month. And I'm going to tell the waiting list people first before I tell everybody else. So if you want your hands on it first, you'll get at least 24 hours notice before everybody else so that you can go grab it. So I'm really excited. It's nearly there. I'm just waiting for one or two advanced readers just to finish and give me their final feedback, and then it's just going to get one last run through the proofreading and editing process before it's out. But it should be out by the end of next month, so I'm super excited about that. But I was pulling some cards this morning, as I said. Just there now. I was having my lunch, doing my usual. I'm on a video and I haven't finished my tea. And so it'll probably go cold. But I was pulling some cards and having a little doom scroll as you do, when you're on your lunch break. And I was like, yeah. And Fridays for me are one of those days where I like to just chill and do things at my own pace and kind of, ease into my day. And you may have seen my post earlier. We were at Tina Turner, the musical last night. Stunning. Let me know if you've seen it, if you've been. It's so, so, so good. Honestly, the lead actress, all the entire cast are amazing. The lead actress in particular, and also the lead actor who plays Ike Turner, fabulous. So like the actual characters, the actual main people. They really are. They almost reincarnated their channel in them or something. It's so 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 good. But it was so moving. There was a couple of points where I had like tears in my eyes, and where I was, and we all know Tina's story, and if you don't, make sure you read her last autobiography there that she wrote. It was stunning. But like we all know Tina Turner's story. We know that she escaped domestic violence. You know, she ended up becoming a worldwide global superstar, and it was through grit and determination. But I'd written a piece on it earlier, and then I was still in quite contemplative mode, so I've just been kind of chilling today. I was having my lunch and I pulled some cards because I hadn't done my cards this morning. Um, so mix it up sometimes, you know. We don't stick to the same established routine every day. So this morning I was listening to podcast. I was listening to Reclaiming Your Spirit podcast by the fabulous and gorgeous Jessica Pashke. So I was listening to a couple of her podcasts this morning while I was just chilling and getting ready, and then, as I say, I was making some book resources, coming up with some ideas for resources to go with the book, and just putting the final touches to the acknowledgements and a few other pages on the book, because Friday's creativity day. Then I pulled the cards, and I got the Lovers, the Fool, and the King of Wands. These were the cards that wanted to come out, and I was going to keep these for myself. And I thought, I'm just going to keep these wee cards. I'm going to work through these myself. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I just do them for you guys? Let's see, because I have a funny feeling something came to me to say, listen, maybe somebody else needs to hear these cards today. So, welcome to my Friday waffle. You're welcome. Um, so yeah, the Lovers. This is a card that sometimes trips a lot of people up. I'm using the Lightseers Tarot. This one, Lightseers Tarot deck, by Chris Ann. Fabulous, my favorite, and most of the members in Soul Food Circle are well and truly addicted to this deck now, because we use it every we use it every week whenever we're in circle. But the cards tend to come out even if it's not tarot night, so you know how it is. But the Lovers card sometimes trips a lot of people up. It's one of those cards that sometimes people go, ugh, I don't know what this is saying. I don't know what it means. And I think this is where it's really helpful to have some sort of extra information about the cards. It's one of the major arcana cards. It's the big stuff, the big things in life. Quite often people say it is because it's the Lovers. They think it's about relationships. They think it's about emotional attachment. They think it's about these things, about two people coming together. And yes, yes, absolutely, it can be about all those things. But let's dive a bit deeper. Let's look at the astrology of it. It's a Gemini card. Yeah, so it's an air sign. So it's also ruled by Mercury. Communication, how we talk, how we think, how we speak. Yeah. Um, so let me know if you're watching live, give me a wee hello, let me know you're here. And if you're watching replay, let me know, does this card trip you up? Whenever you get the Lovers card, if you're pulling tarot, what immediately pops into your head when you're thinking about it, So this card's not just about romance. It's not just about, relationships, romantic relationships, despite the name. I think the Lover's name obviously gives that immediate connotation. And in the traditional version, it looks very much like Adam and Eve, doesn't it, in the Garden of Eden? And there's a big phallic symbol in the middle. It's quite, stereotypical. That's just typical of tarot. But for me, this card's coming up because there's like this real sacred dilemma, this crossroads between the head and the heart, between the conditioned choices that we have to make. I've been doing an awful lot of working with conditioning because I've been training with the fabulous Guna Mildari on Codex, on the human design, and I have been really tapping into where we're conditioned by other people, how our centers influence each other, how our defined centers give us consistent energy, how the undefined centers, allow us to be a little bit more fluid with that, but how that amplifies or impacts others, and how we are impacted by other people. And it's become this fascinating dance. I'm now absolutely obsessed with human design, and I'm like, I need to know everybody's chart. I'm like, give me your details. I want to read your chart. Yeah. So I think there's an awful lot of conditioning in there. And Sinead, yeah, how you communicate with yourself is something that comes up with this card, how you speak to yourself, because the communication point. Um, But this conditioning, we are conditioned sometimes to behave in certain ways, to think in certain ways, to speak to ourselves in certain ways, to hold ourselves in certain ways. And again, this is a massive theme inside the book, inside the Call of the Sacred Rebel book. It's this theme of, you know, doing what you were told, being conditioned, being the good girl, being the good boy, being the one that doesn't rock the boat. Yeah. And then this card comes along, and we see duality. The mind wants logic, but the heart and the soul are screaming for intuitive freedom. Yeah. You sometimes this card comes up whenever you're being shown that there is a split between the head and the heart, or you're being asked to reconcile this head and heart, this need to this conditioning to conform versus the need to rebel, the need to be free, the need to do what's right for you, to stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah. And I think um what's also landing in for me is what's actually yours. What have you inherited from other people? What's actually true to you versus what other people are telling you? Yeah. So it might be that maybe you have a decision to make, and you're pulling yourself back. You're maybe have given yourself all this sort of grief because you're like, well, I'm supposed to do it this way, and this is the logical way to do it, but your heart's screaming for something else. So that's sometimes where I see this card coming up. And usually when it comes up, it's a bigger decision than just, what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. It's a big decision. It's a major arcana card here. So it could be a career change. It could be a relationship change. It could be a direction change. It could be, a pivot in your business. It could be anything. It could be something massive. And as I said at the top of this, it doesn't have to just be about an emotional relationship, um, but also maybe about how you communicate with yourself and how you speak to. I often ask my clients, would you speak to other people the way you speak to yourself? And often the answer is absolutely not. And it's like, well, then don't do it to yourself. Yeah. So we've got this Gemini energy with this card. We've got the duality. We've got choice. We've got alignment. We've got decisions. We've got communication. We've got all these lovely nuances of meaning. And that's why this is why I love tarot, right? Tarot is one of my favorite tools. And funny, we were talking about this yesterday in Soul School. Um, and my own mentor, Melissa Amos, said, that if everything else was taken off her and she could only keep one thing, she'd keep her cards. And I said, do you know what? So would I, because they are just the most gorgeous tool for accessing intuition. They're the mirror sometimes to hold up what you need to see. Um, so much more than what they're portrayed to be on TV shows. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking, whatever decision you're battling with right now, or subconscious thing that's going on, the decision you make now is much deeper than just this surface level stuff. It's going to shape who you're becoming. It's going to shape your whole self, not your mind. And the post I'd written this morning after being at the Tina show yesterday was reminding me very much that, in order to get to where we want to go, we have to leave where we are, right? We have to, we can't get to the next place while still holding on tight to the other place, because there comes a point whenever we get stretched too thin. And there comes a point where you have to take the step, even if you don't know where it's going to go. You have to take the step into the next part of yourself. You need to move forward. You need to let go of the safety net, let go of the rope, and go, well, I'm just going to go because I don't know. And that feeds really nicely into the next card that came up, because the next card that came up was the Fool, the trustful, that leap of faith. Again, another major arcana, which is why I'm sharing these, because when I pull 3 cards, it's not normal. I don't always get 2 majors out of the 3. And I thought, well, you know what? This is maybe bigger than me. This is maybe a bigger thing going on. And this is a message for you guys. So, again, this card, pure potential, the 0 card, that point in between time, that moment of pure, utter potential. I wonder what's going to happen. Curiosity. Curiosity is my word of the year, right? I've been so curious with everybody's human design and all the stuff, and all the records and all the stuff. It's been so good. But this is like the beginning and the end. It's the beginning of something new, but the end of what we just said there, where you have to let go of the old thing. She can't continue to stand on this if she wants to take the leap of faith. She has to have, and in this card, obviously the Light Seers Tarot, she's doing a trust fall. She's moving back, yeah. So she's moving back into, she's got the gorgeous crystal in her hand, and she's just trusting that the universe is going to catch her. She doesn't have any idea where she's going. Same as in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, where you've got the fool about to take the leap off the cliff, and the little dog going, "Oh, what if?" And again, there's that conditioning, and it's like, no, it's just going to go for it. And this card, it has got that pure rebelliousness. We were talking in Circle on Monday night about the pre-shadow of the Uranus retrograde that's going to come up in September, but we're in that pre-shadow now, and we were talking about, the rebelliousness that Uranus brings, and this card is governed by Uranus energy. So again, there's that air quality to it. It's about quantum leap. It's about rebellion. It's about breaking down the old paradigms, about smashing the status quo. Again, all themes in the book. And it was like, oh my God, I've been sitting working all morning on resources for the book, the companion resources to go with the book, meditations, journal prompts, all the things that you can download once you buy the book. And then these cards are coming out and they're speaking to these themes. They're speaking about this real, you know, pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself while being totally sovereign and standing in your power. Phil doesn't have a roadmap, but just knows there's something else out there. Many times have you heard yourself? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you've ever said there's got to be more to life. There's something else out there, and you just want to see. Are you brave enough to take the leap though? Because you've got to let go of the thing, the comfort zone that's holding you back. And there was a section in that Tina musical last night where she just ran off stage. She'd had a massive fight with Ike. He had absolutely completely beaten the life out of her, and she was bloodied and bruised, and she was, going straight into she ran across a freeway, nearly gets hit by a truck. She's standing in the motel, and she's got 36 cents to her name. She's barefoot, she's in her underwear essentially, and she's got nowhere to go. And she had no idea where it was going to go, but she knew she couldn't stay. And my post this morning was like, we don't need to let it get there. We don't need to let it get that bad. But at the same time, sometimes we do. Sometimes we stay in the most toxic environments because it's better the devil you know, right? I know I've done it myself on many an occasion back in the day in work. It's like, oh, I used to complain every day about being in the office, and do something about it. Change it. Leave. Trust that you can take the next step without knowing how it's going to work out. And that's what this card's all about. It's nearly like it's like the fire of the solar plexus being fed by the air of Uranus going, yes, come on, let's light this fire. Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing that lights you right up. Because when you follow what lights you up, what makes your body expand, what makes your energy expand, you cannot go wrong because it's on your path. It's part of your purpose. And as I've been working with myself and with my clients and some of my members through, understanding their human design, unpicking maybe past life experiences in the Akashic records, maybe understanding visibility wounds and witch wounds and all these things that sort of sit there, all this collective juiciness that sits there that we can learn from. It's come to me that we don't always need to know exactly where we're going to end up, but we do need to be brave enough to take the leap. It's not reckless. It's sacred rebellion. That's what the whole book's about. It rewrites your story. Don't need to have it all figured out. Just trust that pull. Trust that tug on your body, on your energy. Get out of your head and into your body and feel that tug and be like, right, okay. Embody that version of yourself who's already made the leap. Because once you take the next step, then the next one becomes clear. But you can't see it if you're trying to see the very end. And then we got the King of Wands. King of Wands comes up, gorgeous, fiery Leo energy here of the lion in the background, that Aries energy, a lot of there's like a fire of Aries, there's Sagittarius, there's Leo, the fire signs in here, right? We've got this like embodied visionary. Look at him. He's really, do you know what's actually really interesting too? For me, whenever I'm doing my own personal journeys to the records, this is how my gatekeeper appears. He appears as him. So it's really interesting for me that sitting here in this card pool this morning that was completely random, he comes up, guarding the space, and for me personally, he's guarding the space in my records, but he's also challenging me to be brave enough to go in and look. Yeah. So this king, like he's visionary, he's charismatic, he's unapologetic, right? Kings in the Tower were all this sort of this vibe. This guy doesn't ask if the world's ready. He just leads because he knows he has to and he knows he must, and it's in his makeup, you know. And it's almost like where the lovers are seeking the alignment, yeah, and the fool is taking the leap of faith. King of Wands takes the choice and then builds around it, builds the fire around it, stokes the fire and builds the passion, creates a movement, a mission, a message, and a legacy. Got the lion in the background, the strength of the lion. Yeah, we've got all that beautiful energy sitting there. And it's like he calls you to stop playing, to stop being the passenger in your own life, to stop, you know, pretending that you don't know what you're here to do because you do. Deep down in your soul, you know your purpose, you know your passion, you know what lights you up. You maybe have just forgotten. It's maybe just been buried under years of conditioning, but it's in there waiting to come out. It's in there waiting to come out and play. And do you know what? Imagine what a fucking beautiful world this would be if we all were brave enough to be who we came here to be, to lead with love, to lead with compassion, to see each other through the eyes of love, through kindness, through integrity, through honesty. All the bullshit and all the crap and all the fear would soon dissolve because none of us would be ready to stand for it anymore. And we'd stop standing by while people are being killed. We'd stop standing by while people are being hurt, while people are being lied to, while all this stuff, because we would have the fire in our belly and the sovereignty. We'd all love each other and war would be abhorrent. Thought of hurting your fellow human would be absolutely a no-no. Imagine what a different world it would be, but it starts with each one of us. It starts with each one of us being brave enough to drop from our heads into our bodies and to really trust the nudge and trust the pull of our inner communication, to take the leap of faith, take the next step and be who we came here to be, and then to lead with passion, with power, not power over someone else, but power within. These cards purely speak to everything I've written about in the book. So I really do hope the link to the waiting list in the comments. So please do make sure you join that wait list. It's coming out next month. You don't have long to wait, but you will be the first to hear. So you might be being asked to make a sacred choice. Take the leap, trust, and rise into the version of you who leads with fire. It's a massive potential here, massive shift. Break all those old agreements, choose that self sovereignty, claim your next chapter like you mean it. Leave that with you. Let me know what you think. See you later. Have a good weekend.